Oh man, is it getting hot over here, guys? What an insane day. The largest, I believe, if I could remember in recent memory, besides maybe the GME craze, the largest trading day I have ever had. $23,000 today. An absolutely insanity day. And I want to preface this day, okay? I want to talk about something that's very important here that got me to the point today, which is the $23,000 day. How did I get to this point? How I got to this point was being red, okay? Soak that in. How I got to this point today was being down thousands of dollars on Friday. I did not allow my P&L to take me out of trades that I had very high confidence in. I did not allow drawdown. I did not allow a P&L number to take me out of a trade that was valid when you look at the technicals. When you look at the chart and just read it without emotion, is the trade still valid? And I asked myself that on every trade I held over the weekend. Every trade I looked at near Friday's close, and pretty much the entire weekend, because I was a little concerned coming into today. But every single day this weekend, I looked at the chart and I asked myself, is the trade still valid, right? Is the technical still valid now that the market's closed? I don't have anything I can do. There can't be any decisions being made right now. Let me look at these charts and let me ask myself that question. And every single time I asked myself that question, the answer was yes. And so on Friday, I was down a few $1,000s, close to about $4,000, maybe close to $5,000, and I'll share that with you in some of the running P&Ls here today. I was down a good amount of money. But when I looked at the charts, the trade was valid. And that ability to stay in the trade, regardless of the P&L, is what gets me to today's trading day, which was $23,000 to the upside, $23,000 green. So I'm going to go ahead and break down every single trade that I took, and I'm going to show you how we talked about every single trade in the community and on the live streams every morning on YouTube. We talked about every trade that got me to this point today. So let's go ahead and break it down, talk about the trades. They were all swing trades from last Friday. Let's jump right into the charts. So before we get started, as always, guys, if I'm going to make these videos about large days, I'm going to show you proof, okay? Because I understand. I get it, right? Big trading days, question marks get raised, all these different questions get raised. I'm going to do the best to share with you everything that I can, right? And I want to make sure that you believe the things that I'm talking about, and I'm going to do my best to do that. And the only way that I could do that, right, with full 100% transparency is to log into my broker right in front of your face. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to log into my paper. Got you again. Not paper trading. We're going to log into my broker account, and we are going to log into the day. We're going to use my face, and we're going to pull it up, okay? And we're going to watch it pull up here on the left side of your charts. And we're going to see it log in, see everything, and you will see my day. Okay, so that's where we're going to start this video. Start it there, get it out of the way, and then let's move on to the trades today. So you can see my broker is populating here on your left side. This is Interactive Brokers. As you guys know, this is what I trade with. And I'll go ahead and minimize this so you can see everything on the charts, everything on the broker, so you can see it all from top to bottom. And there it is. So there's my day. $22,000, $22,700. Account is back to almost $70,000. So we're almost due for another withdrawal here after today's trading day. 41% on NVIDIA, $6,500. 40% on Snow, $9,000. 37% on Netflix, $800. That was a trade from today, intraday. Tesla, 2 trades, holding about $10,000 worth of Tesla to the upside. That up about $3,000. Let's scroll down. Another Snow trade that I closed. February 2nd, 210 calls, $2,600 on that. And that's pretty much what gets me to this point, guys. So there's my trading day. There's my broker. You can see it all live right in front of your face. I'll move this all around. I'll click on things, right? We can click on that. We can click on that. We can populate this screen. There you go. All right. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and pull up TradeZella. Here's TradeZella, and here is this is what we're looking at here. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit smaller so we can get it all on the screen. $65,000 on the month, 3.06 profit factor, 67% win rate, 1.47 win to losing trade. And here is my calendar. So you can see, right? On Friday, I closed the day red, realized. Today, I realized about 8,000. Obviously, I still have some unrealized gains. So if I pull this back up, you can see I've realized about $8,000, and I still have some unrealized gains that I am risking overnight still, right? So I could give back some of this today. It's not a realized $22,000, but it is a $22,000 trading day. So I've realized about $8,000 of that, but let me show you something, okay? Let's go into the trades, right? And I want to share with you what happened here, or at least let me go into a few of these trades and share with you how I was red on these positions. So let's take this snow call right here, the 205 call that I'm still holding. As of right now, I locked in $3,300 on this. I opened some of this position on Friday, right? And I sell some today. Now, if we scroll down, okay, and we'll get into, the technicals on everything. If I scroll down and go to the running P&L, I was down at its peak about $3,500 on this trade. And now I am up $6,000 on this trade, right? So I was down about $3,500 on this individual snow trade. Let's go to this NVIDIA trade, which is still open. I still have some partials open on this NVIDIA trade. We can see I've locked in about $1,000 on this trade. I opened this on Friday, right? You can see all these entries on Friday, and I close some on the way higher today. This trade, I can go to the running P&L, and you can see at its peak, I was down $2,300 to the downside, and at its peak on the upside, which is the running P&L right now, I am up $4,100. So there was not just straight green here, right? There was belief in the trades that I was in. And this, guys, is very important, okay? We need to enter trades that we trust, that we understand the analysis behind, and that we are feeling confident in, okay? We need to make sure that when we enter a trade, we know what the technical levels are. What is it we are looking for on these trades? So this was instrumental to my gains today. I entered trades with a plan, and I stayed in the trade as long as the plan was valid. And even though I was red on these trades at times, I did not let that red make me think irrationally, make me panic. I did not get out of positions because of a red P&L. So let's start with Snow, because if I pull back up Interactive Brokers, Snow probably is the largest trade that I had today. It was as of right now, on the day, of $9,000 on that one, on this one. So overall today, up over $11,000 on Snow. Why was I entering Snow? What was the idea behind this trade? So first of all, let me go to Desi Swings, where I post every swing trade that we're going to talk about in today's video. Let's go to where we talked about Snow. So we're going to go up, and we're going to go to my Snow entry, which was right here. Right here, you guys can see. I'll go ahead and drag this over. Right here, you guys can see that I was entering Snow. Entering Snow at 10:33, February 2nd, 205 call with a stop under 202. Okay, this was my idea. This was the game plan on Snow. Now, of course, intraday, I'm always adding updates, right? I'm not going to bore you with all these updates, but I'm always updating the group with what I'm seeing on the trade. Okay, so let's go to Snow, and let's talk about what I was looking for on this trade. Let's talk about the idea and what I wanted Snow to do to stay and remain in the position. So we're going to go out to the 90-day, 1-hour chart on Snow. And originally, I was watching this 202 level. This is really where I wanted to see Snow maintain. Originally, I wanted to see Snow hold over 202. So you can see we had 202, 202, and 202. Now, what Snow did was a break and retest, right? This is And almost every trade that you're going to watch today that made me this money is my strategy. I did not deviate from my strategy to make this money. And that's what I'm most proud about. I just stuck to the exact same thing I always do, just a little bit more size, and still staying confident in my strategy. So what did Snow do? All right, last week, Snow had a big squeeze to the upside. Now, I didn't chase Snow. I didn't chase calls at the top. What did I look for? I was waiting for Snow to come back down to that 202 level, right? I was waiting for Snow to come back down to these previous highs, right? The quadruple top rejection. I was waiting to see, after we broke out, do we come back down and do we turn this into support for another upside move on a break and retest, right? A break and retest demand hold that would result in another upside move, right? That is something you see on my channel all the time. So if we go ahead and zoom into the shorter term time frames, and I do want to give a quick shout out to ADR, who's a trader in our community. She got my eyes on this one. I was watching it, but on Friday, she took a position, and that sort of gave me that confidence. I was like, hey, I like this too. I'm going to run with you on this one. So shout out ADR. Congratulations on this trade as well. So here on Friday, guys, you can see this is Friday's trading day. So let me go ahead and zoom into Friday in particular. Here was Friday. This was Friday's trading day right here. So on Friday, we opened, all right, we dropped to the downside, and again, we saw that 202 holding as demand. So after seeing that 202 hold as demand again on Friday, you guys can see right here, I'll go back to that entry point. I entered Snow right here at 1033 with a stop under 202. 1033 was right around here because I saw that demand step up again. The day was not great, right? You can see we got a little bit of upside, but pretty much the whole day we just chopped sideways. Now, this trading action, this consolidation above my demand level should not be making me get out of a position, right? Because what is my plan here? My plan is to long 202 on the retest and stay in the trade as long as it's above that level. Do not micromanage the position. And you can see we did get a quick pop, but we didn't get much, right? We sort of just stayed sideways and sort of got weak into close on Friday. Now, coming into today, right, we can see we had a little bit of drama in the pre-market, right? And I told the group today and the live stream that if we turned 202 into a rejection today, I would have had to take a loss on this trade. Now, what you can see pretty much right off the open, we once again reclaimed that 200 we held, but we reclaimed that 202, right? And so that 202 level, once again, holds as a demand, right, this morning, and pretty much the rest is history, right? I just rode this thing out all day. I saw that aggressive pop off the open. That solidified my idea that 202 was demand, that it was holding again, and I wanted to see if this would come to fruition. The other thing that I was looking for, right, of course, with the 202 retest that came in, was the break of the downtrend. We had the downtrend that was setting up. We had the retest level right below. I was entering near these lows, right, entering near demand, looking for that upside, and that is pretty much exactly what we got. So all in all, guys, what did this trade require? Well, one, it required an understanding of the break and retest strategy, right? That's number one. You guys can see very clearly. Previous rejections, previous rejections, previous rejections, previous rejections, right? Break above it, come back down into it. Does it turn from rejections into demand? And if it does, right, we take our trade there with a fantastic risk to reward, and we get our downtrend break, and that is exactly what we saw today. That's the first requirement, understanding the break and retest strategy, which is what I teach on this channel and talk about all the time. Number two, the other thing that this trade required to end up profitable on it was patience. Patience and understanding of the strategy, patience to stay in the position as long as it remained above your stop loss, which it did all day Friday, and which it did all day today. So guys, that was the first trade on Snow. I still hold some of this position. Of course, you're probably going to see a little bit of supply around this 210 area. So I did take profits on a lot of it into close, but I do maintain some of that trade over the week or overnight into tomorrow. Next, let's go into NVIDIA. NVIDIA. Why was I entering NVIDIA calls on Friday? Why was I looking for upside continuation on this stock? Again, it's the break and the retest. So here is the hourly chart on NVIDIA, guys. And what I noticed here, I'm going to clean up this chart and just focus on what I looked at on the trade, right? We're going to clean this up and just focus on the first part of the trade and the understanding of this retest and why I entered the position. So let's go ahead and pull up the Discord, right, and talk about where I entered this position for the group. Right here, you can see on Friday, very interesting NVIDIA retest yesterday into today, right? We had that retest of that 602 level. Could set something up into next week. This was talked to the group on Friday. Last swing before I head out, taking a small stab on NVIDIA next week, 615 calls, and I had an original stop under 612. Okay? Now, as I always do, I was reassessing intraday, right? Staying patient here before I dip out of NVIDIA, reassessing NVIDIA, giving updates to the group about what I was looking at. Now, you can see here, what was this trade on NVIDIA? Once again, this was a rejection point on NVIDIA that turned into a demand on NVIDIA, which after we bounced off of it, where did we come back into? We came right back into that level. So we had what? A rejection turn into a new low, right? You can see a previous high turn into a new low. And after seeing that, I was confident that I could attempt a long here near that 602 area. Now, I didn't get an entry near 602. What I was watching was a little bit on the shorter term. So if I go to the 5-minute chart, what I was watching here on NVIDIA on Friday was actually around this 610 to 612 level. So we had around this 610 and this 610 to 608. It was sort of this whole consolidation. It was right here and it was right here. Right? We can see we had that Wednesday low around that 612, 611 area. And then we had this Friday consolidation right around this 608, which was this low from Thursday. So I had this holding, right, this 608, and I had this 611, 612 level, which was also attempting to hold at some points on Friday, which got me interested in that swing trade. As long as this retest was valid, right, right here, as long as NVIDIA was above 602, I knew that this was a bullish market structure. I knew that we just went from turning this previous high at 602 into a perfect double bottom demand, right? And so I was interested in adding NVIDIA on Friday, looking for this to sort of consolidate, right? Sort of consolidate, move lower, and then ultimately hold that retest level at 602. Once again, what is this? This is a break and retest, and a flag breakout. Look how similar that looks to snow. So what was I doing, right? I was entering NVIDIA pretty much all day Friday, and I was understanding that if the market could maintain, and if NVIDIA could maintain this 602, I was willing to see if this could have continuation. So you guys can see right here, right? This is on Friday. I was sort of adding into this position all day. I was very interested, right? Gaining my share, gaining my sort of size over time, consolidating into this position, gaining interest, right? Understanding the larger term picture, but getting different entries throughout the day, growing my size in this position as it was maintaining. I sold some today for a small profit, sort of mid-afternoon, but I did hold majority of it, and you can see selling a little bit into close today just to de-risk, right? Just because I got my move doesn't mean that just because, it starts to work doesn't mean I shouldn't be de-risking here. So starting to de-risk, right? Took some profits on it, and then as of right now, sitting up about 41% on this position as of close today, and you have a very big after-hours move on NVIDIA. This could look even better tomorrow morning. So, NVIDIA was the number 2 trade, right? And what was it? Again, guys, break and retest of a previous high, which is the same thing as snow, right? We look at snow here. We see a previous high, we see a break and retest flag, right? And if we go to NVIDIA, it's the same exact thing. NVIDIA, we have a previous high, we have a break and retest hold of that high, and we have the flag breakout. Same exact setup. that you saw on those two trades. So what else did I trade? What else did we talk about in the group? What else did I take? The other trade that we were holding was Shopify. Now, Shopify finally working out for me today. I'll go ahead and scroll up here. Shopify was a trade that I took on the 23rd, right? On the 23rd, I opened a trade on Shopify. You guys can see right here, the $80 call on Shopify. Today, that trade closing up about 18%. And if I go to Shopify, this is why I was entering that trade, right? Once again, what was it, right? The same exact thing. What do you know? It is a previous high that has turned into a demand, right? So I'm not going to go too far in the shop because it's the same exact thing again. I think you get the picture, but you can see previous high, into a low, into a low, into a low, into a low. And what this trade required was patience, a belief in the plan, an understanding of the strategy, right? And knowing that as long as Shopify was holding above those previous double top highs, there was a chance that it could move higher, right? Staying in the position as long as Shopify stayed above that level. And you can see today, we got the very nice push and a squeeze above 83, which was very key. Now, I want to talk about two more trades. Number one being Netflix, which as of right now, as into close, I am up 38% on. And then also, I want to talk about Tesla. So let's go to Netflix, because Netflix is the definition of break and retest today. It was probably the cleanest break and retest intraday that I have seen here. Look at this on Netflix. You guys can very clearly see this. This should very much clear up some things for you if you're trying to understand this strategy. Previous highs. Friday, beautiful hold. Today, perfect pullback and a perfect hold. So what did we do here? What we did was we got above, right? We got above. Let me delete that. We got above a previous double top high here on Friday, right? We got above it. What did we do today? We pulled back to it. We held it as demand, and I entered long right in that area, right? So let me go ahead and drop this, or go to the Discord. We'll go to we'll go to Netflix right here. You guys can see Netflix today at 10:56. As of now, planning to swing trade Netflix February 2nd, 580 calls. This was the chart at the time. It was a perfect break and retest of 562, right? And you can see how beautiful this set up today to the upside. This was an awesome entry. Once again, Netflix went from creating rejections here, right, into turning this into a support. A perfect flip of this level. You can see we went from rejecting it to holding it as support. Perfection. Netflix break and retest today. Beautiful. The last trade that I'm going to talk about today is Tesla. And yes, I am taking a shot to the upside on Tesla. And let me explain why. Tesla did something very, very important today, my friends, as to why I considered this to be a potential upside trade. What did Tesla do today that is so important? Tesla went from creating rejections at 187, creating rejections at 187 on Friday. It went from creating those rejections to turning it into a support. What do you know? It's the break and retest again. We went from creating rejections at 187 to turning that level into a support. Today, we saw a break and retest hold of 187. And once again, right here, guys, you can see taking a long here on Tesla off this 187 retest. Right here around the 116. This is what the chart looked like. I was taking longs here on Tesla as we pulled back into that 187 level. Once again, a break and retest on Tesla. So that is probably where I'm going to wrap up this video, guys. Every single trade that made me this money today was in the community. Every single trade that we talked about in today's video, and every trade that I took to make this money was, again, a break and retest long entry. And that is why I continue to trade this strategy without fear, with 100% trust. And this is what it's going to take, right, to continue to grow an account. It's going to take belief in your strategy, belief in your risk management, belief in what you're doing here. And I hope that watching today's video shows you more examples of break and retests, gives you a better idea of how to trade them. And I hope that it inspires you to go out, try to find these entries, try to trade the break and retest, and see if it works for you. Thank you guys again for watching. Press that like button if you want to trade live with me every single day. The link is down in the description. Right now, there is a 10% coupon you can take advantage of. Make sure to come to the pre-market live streams where we talked about every trade from today in the pre-market live stream this morning, giving you an update, giving you ideas of what to look for intraday. Thank you again for all the support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.